I'm Gab. He's Don Hutchison.
Hey.
That's right. We are blessed filling in for Jules. It's gray skies over West London.
Yep.
Not gray skies over the blue half of Manchester or the red half. In fact, we're going to be talking about that in a minute. Plenty of other stuff going on. Manchester United winning again. Bayern set things right. Putting 5 past Hoffenheim. Inter as well. 5 past Sassuolo. How about that? Real Madrid win, but not necessarily super convincing. But good thing Valencia have bigger problems. All right, but let's start with Liverpool City. In fact, I'm not sure where to start because I feel like we have to start with the incidents at the end because that was one of the wildest. What was it, like 16 minutes plus 13 minutes of injury time? There's a ton to dissect there, but let's start at the very end. So for the record, City won this game 2-1.
Not 3-1.
Okay, 2-1, which means, I feel it's important to state that, which means that, they're still in the title hunt.
Yep.
Let's start with that decision at the end, because I think everybody's going to be talking about that for a long time.
Yeah.
Essentially, it's 2-1, way deep in injury time. There's been all sorts of chaos and goals. City clear the ball. Ryan Cherky kind of shoots from even inside his own half.
Yeah.
The ball's rolling towards the net.
Dominic's
on some slides and a foot race with Erling Haaland.
Only one winner there.
He's never going to win it. He pulls Haaland back.
Yep.
Gets ahead of him, and then somehow Haaland then pulls him back. The ball goes into the net.
Yeah.
So logic to most people, feeling to most people would have been, all right, I don't care about this. The game's over. The ball's gone into the back of the net from Ryan Cherky.
Yeah.
Let the goal stand. It's 3-1. Call it a day.
Yeah.
Right? This is whether you played at any level, even in the schoolyard, this is what logic tells you.
Yeah.
That's not what happened.
And nor should it.
Okay, explain this. So I'll just quickly say what happened. The VAR called the referee, Craig Pawson, to the screen. Pawson ended up saying that it was a denial of goal-scoring opportunity.
Because that was the first thing that happened.
That was the first thing that happened on Szoboszlai. Obviously, he let it play an advantage, but then later the fact that Haaland pulled him back meant that Szoboszlai had no chance of clearing Cherky. Not that I'm 100% certain he would have gotten there. And so therefore, the upshot is it finishes 2-1.
Yeah.
Szoboszlai is now injured. He's now suspended for 3 games.
One game. One game.
Why one game?
It's one game. Sunderland, he's banned for 1 game. So it's not endangering an opponent. It's not ticking those sort of boxes. 1 game.
Okay. Not ideal. I think both teams would have rather it had gone the other way and it was 3-1.
Yeah. And Szoboszlai doesn't get a red.
Yeah.
That's the common sense view. However, my take on it, and speaking to referees this morning and speaking to Chris Foy this morning, John Brooks and VAR has a duty to do his job. And the referee can't just apply common sense, because if you start just applying common sense and ignoring the laws, where on earth do you go with this? So you're right in saying Szoboszlai started it by pulling Erling Haaland back. So that takes precedent. Then what happens after that? The VAR have to get involved, and John Brooks has got a duty to do his job. As I said, he has to inform the referee, which Craig Pawson knows the laws of the game. I think in the end, we watch the game of football and we judge it with so much emotion because we're emotionally attached to nearly every single match that we watch. On this one, I think the referee and the VAR team have been battered since last night and all this morning, I think unfairly. Because when you look at it and you apply the laws state that was the right call.
Yeah, I get that. I think this is such an extreme situation. We don't need to change the laws of the game. I do think if John Brooks had not intervened, I don't think Pawson would have let the goal stand. And I think it's one of those situations where John Brooks could speak to his supervisor and say, hey, I saw this. This is why I didn't do it. I made a common sense call. Pawson agreed with me. Pawson could have come to me and said, hey, was there a pullback there? I think that could have been handled differently, but I get the point about the laws of the game. The game itself, which we're going to have to get to, it was so much to unpack. Manchester City,
brilliant first half.
Dominated the first half.
Brilliant.
Liverpool came out swinging in the second half. We saw some big misses from Ekitike especially. Florian Wirtz too. We saw some serious refereeing controversy. I thought the Salah Marc Guéhi, we're going to get to that. We saw a ridiculous save from Donnarumma. We saw a ridiculous free kick from Szoboszlai. This game had so much going on. All right, let's just quickly, we're talking out there, they make the point. Adding a little more context there, what Szoboszlai was going to do. Because, again, heat of battle, whatever.
Yeah.
If Szoboszlai knows that, you were saying, he decided to take the red for the team. Okay, fine. But then
that's what he tried to do. He tried to yank Haaland back and thought, you know what, I'll keep the game at 2-1. I'll get the red card.
Right.
That's what he's trying to do.
You're in the 13th minute of injury time. The chances of you scoring the late equalizer are infinitesimally small.
Yeah.
It's obviously the wrong decision. You damage a team even more if you're suspended, because then who plays right back in the next game, given that Bradley's out, Frimpong.
But you say that, though. You say small, but small's still a chance. So Szoboszlai gets sent off at 2-1. What's saying Liverpool couldn't have went up the other side, other end of the pitch in 15, 20 seconds and scored and got it back to 2-2?
I say, because there's history. Okay, what say that...
No, but we don't know this, do we?
Okay, what say that with Curtis Jones at right back against Sunderland next week, you don't drop points, right? Surely the damage of not having Szoboszlai...
It's his own fault. It's his own fault.
No, I know. Look, and I'm not going to blame him for it, because it is a heat of battle, high adrenaline situation, right?
So that's what goes through your mind, you see, because when you're running back like Szoboszlai, you can think, in a split second, Haaland's going to score 3-1, game over. If I yank him back and take a red card, there's a 1% chance we might get a 2-2 out of this.
Yeah, I think statistically it's much lower than 1%. You're in the 13th minute.
In a conversation like this, when you're nice and warm, when you're out in the pitch at ground level, you've got that to think and make a decision.
All right. I don't know if we should talk about the game or the incident, because I think the game was
let's get the double standards first. So I'm backing Craig Pawson and John Brooks for making the call.
I think Craig Pawson right now is hating the fact that John Brooks called him to the VAR screen.
I'm not.
I think Pawson's thinking, bro,
no,
I totally saw what happened.
But then
there's a reason I didn't whistle for it.
Yes, but John Brooks wouldn't be doing his job. You have to say they've done their job. John Brooks' job in VAR is to inform the referee of what he saw on the pitch.
Here's what we don't know.
I don't know why they're getting battered, the two refs. They've done their job.
Here's what we don't know, and I think Howard Webb would know, and will know, because he has access to their audio communication.
Yeah.
Because Pawson doesn't call it until he gets called to the screen.
Yeah. Because there was a lot to unpack, to be fair, from his point of view.
Okay, but yes and no, because Shirky shoots, he turns his head, he sees Haaland running with Szoboszlai.
And he's trying to catch them. And Craig Pawson's trying to catch two elite footballers.
Craig Pawson's been a professional referee for a long time. He knows that there is no way that Szoboszlai is beating Erling Haaland in a foot race.
No, well,
right?
I'll give you that.
And so if suddenly Szoboszlai's ahead of Haaland,
something's supposed to happen.
Something's happened, right?
Of course.
So he knows this, and he doesn't whistle. And I think he says, "I'm making the end of the freaking game. But I'm going to whistle the."
But what would throw him was what would throw Craig Pawson, the referee, on the pitch. He would have seen Szoboszlai yanking Haaland back. The aftermath is then Haaland yanks Szoboszlai back. So from the referee's point of view, and then the ball trickles over the line. There's a lot to unpack in the space of a referee ground level. 1.5 seconds, 2 seconds. So I don't blame John Brooks for doing his job. Then I don't blame the referees for calling the actual law of the game. It feels unjust because we're emotional.
Here's the thing. Here's what we don't know. What we don't know, if Brooks said, like, there's an evident pull, and this is why I think the relationship with the VAR and the referee is so important.
Do you know what's thrown everyone,
Can I
Gab?
finish?
Yeah.
He says there's an evident pull.
Yeah.
And then obviously Haaland fouls him as well.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, Haaland, again, we're talking about hindsight. 2020, didn't need to do that, right?
Yeah.
I think, did they have a conversation? Brooks says, like, I got to call you to the screen. Yeah. And if Pawson says, please don't do this, let's just apply common sense, and then I'll back you when we have to explain it to Uncle Howard.
I don't buy common sense.
No, but I'm just saying that is a road they could have taken. Maybe it would have hurt them, right? But that is a road they could have taken. The upshot here is that we're left with people not, some people don't understand it, but this now becomes a whole discussion about VAR, which is really not a discussion about VAR. It's a discussion about a referee on the field.
Who's made the call.
The
correct call.
No. Well, you said the correct call. Obviously not the correct call.
Well,
Otherwise,
the end,
He made a clear and obvious mistake, according to Brooks.
He
right?
did, but Chris Foy made a fantastic point when I spoke to him this morning. He went, the referee, once he goes to the monitor, that's then his decision to make the call. It's no one else's. It's not VAR. It's not Howard Webb. It's not everyone. The referee, in the end, once he goes to the monitor, has got the final call and the final say. I think what's thrown everyone and why
we say that in theory,
no,
but
that's
in
the
practice,
truth. No, that's the truth.
But in practice, you very rarely see that.
But I think what's thrown everyone, because we're so emotional about the game, is the laws of the game in that instant, how it's written. When originally Haaland denies a goal scoring opportunity when he pulls Haaland back, which is the correct term. What's thrown everyone is the ball went in the net. So people are getting carried away with, oh, he's denied a goal scoring opportunity, but the ball's ended up in the net. Why can't you just leave it, and why can't you apply common sense? John Brooks is saying, no, I'm going to do my job. I'm sitting here and I'm doing my job to give the referee as much information as I can. They've unpacked it. I don't know why they're getting battered, because they've made the right call.
I think this is, but like I said, this is why I think the relationship between the two, we don't know what was said between them.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I think Possum played the advantage, and then I think he was going to let the goal stand. Because
but knowing in the back of his mind, he's got VAR to lean on, which is fine.
Maybe that's fine. But then once he goes to the screen, when we've created this climate, he felt, even though he on occasionally we do see people disagree after they see it, once he's once he's there, it's undeniable, right, that Haaland fouls him and whatever, right?
I know, but I still lean on the fact that there was seconds left on the clock. And when Ryan Cherky takes that free kick, very quickly, if Cherky takes that free kick, and it's ifs and buts, but it is, because there's still time left on the clock. No. Cherky could hit that straight into Alisson. Alisson kicks up the field. Salah scores. 2-2. You've got to apply the laws of the game. What can we go back to is the double standards on why Craig Pawson didn't send Marc Guéhi off for the foul on Mo Salah.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to get to. And by the way, but before I do, it'll be hilarious if Liverpool make or miss out. If like this one goal, because as you know, I don't believe in goal difference. I think goal difference is nonsense and garbage. But sadly, that is also the rules of the Premier League. Imagine if City win or lose a title because of this goal, or Liverpool
I never
qualify
buy that.
or don't qualify.
I never buy that, because there's a million other games that you can lean on and go, oh, we should have beat them by 5 instead of 4, or we should have kept a clean sheet instead of losing 2 or 3.
All right.
So I never really buy that one.
Yes, the Guéhi on Salah. We're in agreement on this.
100% a red card, because if I try and paint the picture,
Mo Salah has gotten away from Guéhi. He's running. Guéhi pulls it. Guéhi, who's smart,
and he's outside the box, so
pulls
can't
him
be a pen.
back just outside the box.
So no pen.
Right.
Diaz is 6 yards away, and the ball is 2 yards from Mo Salah.
And
now,
Gigi Donnarumma.
Now I'm no maths expert, but I'm telling you, if Mo Salah's 2 yards away and Ruben Diaz is 6 yards away, I can tell you who's getting to the ball first, and that's Salah.
Arne Slot agrees with you. That was a red card.
Well, I think 99% of people would, unless you're a Man City fan, which is fine, but Diaz ain't getting there.
All right. The Szoboszlai free kick. I've heard some people, not goalkeepers, questioning Donnarumma for putting the two-man wall. Let's just explain this. The reason he puts a two-man wall there is because
he wants to see it.
He wants to see the ball leave, because he knows that if he puts 8 bodies in the way, he doesn't see the ball. And he knows it because Szoboszlai's done it before.
Correct.
So you set free kicks right up in the corner. And then it's really, really hard to adjust because you only see the ball at the last minute.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
So he says, all right, what's he going to do?
Give me that extra second to see it.
Exactly. He does get the exercise. He hits this, and I'd like you to explain to me. I'm sure you've tried, probably not in games, but you've tried this in training.
Yeah.
Right? He has to hit it exceptionally hard, but also with the outside of his foot in a certain way so that the ball, I mean, you can clearly see it, just swerves in the air, and it swerves so quickly because it's hit so hard that even in slow motion, the ball flies into the net.
Yeah.
How hard is it to do that with any kind of control?
Well, I mean, without getting into the biomechanics, he doesn't even stand straight onto the ball. He stands just off the left-hand side. So technique-wise, that normally would suggest that he's going to try and whip it with the instep.
He did that to try to fool Donnarumma.
Yeah, even then, though, as he runs up to it, you're thinking, well, it's an instep because of his body position. He's not square on. He's a yard. So instep finish, top right-hand corner, or top left, as in against Arsenal, or down the middle with power. Yeah. So Donnarumma's thinking, right, I've got you covered. If you instep that from 30 yards, my wingspan suggests I can get there to my left-hand side. If you go the other way, my wingspan to my right can get there. If you're down the middle, I can deal with it. The free kick is just too good, Gab. He's hit it down the middle with a knuckleball Ronaldo strike with loads of fade and cut spin on it. So it's cut spinned and faded away starting central right into the stanchion.
Yeah.
Sometimes sometimes you just say, forget the wall, forget the keeper. It's genius.
You played with some ridiculous players. I'm just curious. On the training pitch, he was, 32, 35 yards out, something like that?
Yep.
No goalkeeper. Did you play with guys who could put the ball down and replicate that free kick and just put it right there, say 5 out of 10 times,
So
6 out of 10?
There's different players with different techniques. So if you're going pure power from free kicks, Julian Dix at West Ham used to smash the ball as hard as he could, but I don't think he could fade it into the top corner. De Canio at West Ham, closer, technique. He'd apply a bit of finesse.
But he'd finesse it. He wouldn't.
That's what I'm saying.
He wouldn't hit it like that.
That's what I'm saying. So
But have you? I mean, how hard is it? Like even great players can't do this in training.
You look back to people who could smash the ball and say Julian Dix, Stuart Pearce,
Mihailovic.
exactly. But
the gold standard.
It was but it was just off the charts good, and I feel sometimes you can look a little bit deep, and the pundits can look a little bit deep into the wall and look into Donnarumma. It's just too good.
Right. What was also too good was Donnarumma's save off of Alexis McAllister. That shot was deflected, incidentally, right? Which actually means not only does he have to get the large body up into the air, and make the strong hand, he also has to adjust mid-flight.
Yeah.
I thought that was unreal. And again, we talk about goals that change games, change seasons.
Yeah,
that was it.
It's a funny. It's a funny one, amazing save. It's a funny one that, and I'm no goalkeeping expert, but I'm pretty sure they would say the deflection helped him in a way because it took a lot of pace off the strike. Now, obviously, that's a bit of a contradiction because the deflection took it higher up into where it was going to go. Otherwise, it would have been a lower strike. Does that make sense? So McAllister's hitting it sort of, 3 yards off the ground, deflects then into about 6, 7 yards, 10 yards. Amazing save, but a tad of the pace was taken off. I'm not taking anything away from the save, just trying to apply.
I think on the flip side, the way a goalkeeper's mind works, he sees the ball go straight.
Exactly.
And in some ways, it's easier. It's even though it comes at you much quicker, you know where it's going, and you can move to get in the way. So it's 6 of one, 1/2 dozen others.
And then he's got to react.
And then but then in this case, he had to react.
That's amazing.
All right, I want to talk about the football. That it looked to me I was only watching on television, that in this game, obviously no Ryan Shirky, no Phil Foden, no Tijani Reinders. He went for a different approach. He said, Marmoush, Holland, Semenyo, I'm going to have 3 forwards, and they're all going to be pretty narrow.
Yeah.
And we're just going to clog up the middle.
Yeah.
Overwhelm Gravenberch and the center backs.
Yeah.
Force Liverpool wide.
Yeah.
That worked a charm in the first half,
Brilliant.
I thought.
Amazing.
And then in the second half, first 15 minutes, already Liverpool were back into it and were creating chances.
Yeah.
How did Slot counteract that?
So tactically, when you, again, I keep going back to being ground level, you've got to problem solve as a player. So you would have had the team lineup come in on the sheet beforehand. You would have seen Marmoush. You go, yep, he's playing wide left. Semenyo, yep, he's definitely playing wide right. Haaland, 100% through the middle. So Pep played 3 up top to try and keep Liverpool's 4 back into their shape, keep their fullbacks into their shape. So Liverpool had to try and problem solve. They clogged the middle. They got Bernardo Silva on the ball. I thought was amazing in the game. I thought Guéhi was immaculate. It's like a Rolls Royce. I think he's one of the best in the Prem.
Even though he should have been sent off.
Yeah. Right. And then I think when you get in at half time, you've got that 15 minutes to try and analyse, right, boss, coaches, what's gone on here. And they'll have told you, they've probably showed you 1 or 2 bits of analysis. To counteract that, the fullbacks then have to be a lot braver. And I thought Szoboszlai got forward more from right back, and I thought Kirkes had an excellent game at left back.
But they were playing narrow though. The three,
so it allows the fullbacks to go around if you're brave, right? Because when you simplify it, you see City's 3. You've always got to have 1 more, so you keep 4 at the back. So keep your 2 centre backs, your 2 fullbacks in a 4, quite sort of static. Mark the 3, you've got the 1 extra. If you're then brave to counter-attack that and you go, right, our fullbacks, Szoboszlai, get on your bike, Kirkes, get on your bike, one of those 2 ain't staying there. So you drag, it's like a poker game. So Marmoush or Semenyo is then going to go, hang on a minute, they're getting space in the wider areas. We've got to now do something. So it's all about problem solving on the pitch. City were by far the best team in the first half. I thought they nailed Liverpool in their ability, in the approach, but then Liverpool problem solved, as you said before. They were brilliant for probably 20, 30 minutes of the game until the chaos.
Yeah. So Ekitike had a couple really clear-cut chances.
Yeah.
The Verts chance were...
A lazy finish.
I was really disappointed in Wirtz in this game, and it kind of reinforced my notion that Wirtz behind a striker with two wingers isn't not something you can carry this season. It just takes a ton of work. But still, it was an impressive second half from Liverpool, bar the finishing. What I want to ask you about this setup, what I feel we've seen from one thing that sets these two guys apart is Slot has changed things around because he's trying to find balance, trying to get the team to play better.
And he's trying to get his individuals to play better.
And get the
Kirkes is now playing a lot better than he did 2 months ago.
Pep, on the other hand, he has made big changes throughout the year. And I know, like, Jules and I don't think City have played consistently well.
No, I'd agree with you. I think they look fragile.
And now in this game, you drop Shirky, who may be your best, most consistent attacking
player. But
players.
then you can look at it and think, can I carry a Maverick at Anfield away when I think they've won 3 in 52 games? So no, you can't. So wasn't Pep's call right in the end?
I guess maybe he viewed this as a one-off game to try to get a result, but I just still don't understand what they're building towards. I don't understand, if they were to play a Champions League final, like, would he just come up with a bespoke line? Because I think one of the issues that's hurting them this season is chemistry. Jules says, with Linders, they want to press more and blah, blah, blah. But sure, but all this stuff takes chemistry, takes coordination.
Time, yeah.
And when you're constantly changing the team, and he's not changing the team because he's stupid. He's changing the team because they're not playing well.
Yeah. And for the opposition.
For the opposition in this game, but most weeks, they're not playing Liverpool at Anfield, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like we're nowhere closer. Certainly Guéhi, it's going to have a monumental effect at the back the rest of the season, just in calming
I think he's the best in the Prem.
Maybe. We'll see when, Ruben Diaz is back now. Gustanov's actually improved. I'm still not a fan. I don't know.
He's going to be great. He is going to be with a older head on in a few years' time with experience, because he is rapid. He's just too rash at the moment, but he's improving. He's certainly very athletic.
But I want to leave you with this, since you like your percentages. So not that long ago, last time we did this, I think Jules said 60% Arsenal, 30% City, 10% Villa.
What can I say? You threw me then. I was like 60-30, that's not 100.
I think we can leave Villa out of it.
Gone.
There is the head-to-head, obviously, at the head-to-head, which is going to be huge. I think that's early April.
Yeah. Fixtures for City now, I think, into that game are very, very kind on paper.
All right, so give me your percentages.
Well, it's funny because last week on FC, I was 90-10. I thought it was all over. But now it's been changing all the time. It's been 60-40. It's been 70-30. My latest one was 90-10. Now I think I'm back to 70-30 in Arsenal's favour. Because 6 points is 6 points. And I don't think City...
Sorry, just explain this. It was 6 points last week, too.
Yeah, I know, but...
So, wait... City come out of a game that they could have lost. So how did they gain 20%? How did they gain 20% when there's one fewer match?
Because they went to Anfield and won. Because this was all done before the game. So I'm thinking Arsenal was a banker against Sunderland, home banker, so they'll stretch it to 9, 100% before the Arsenal fixture. I knew they were going to win. They're too strong. Then you go would you put your mortgage on Man City going to Anfield and winning with 3 in 52? No. Would you make Liverpool favourites? Maybe. Is the likely outcome going to be a draw? Yeah.
Okay, so you calculated on City dropping points in this game.
Exactly.
They didn't do that, and that's why you're back to 60-40? 70-30.
70-30
There you
now.
go. Don Hutchison's patented percentages.